let me know. I'm going to try and make this as interactive as possible, so I'm not just talking to myself. I'm going to try and make this interactive as possible. So now, please, can you hear me? Can you still hear me, please?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. So now, many people think product managers build up. When you hear the word product management, I think it's easy from the word itself, management of products. But what products are you managing? If you see a chair is a product, right? A table is a product. Dresses are products. But then when it comes to product management, you're monitoring digital solutions. I love to call them solutions. And that's because product management is a problem-centered area of tech. A product manager is someone who identifies real problems, understands the people in a product throughout its life cycle. Now, we come from ideation, where the idea comes from initially. When you talk about product management, before you build a product, we've talked about a case scenario now. Let's keep that on one part of our mind. When you want to build a product, I don't just come and say, okay, you know what, today I feel like, let me just create a fitness app. What brought about fitness app? I'm trying to give you the idea into the mind of what a product manager thinks like. We don't have so much time, so I'm not going to be dwelling so much, but then I'm just going to pick here and there. If you as a product manager, you are a problem-centered and oriented person. When you see a system, you see the defects and the crack in that system. That's how a product manager thinks. So when there's a problem, that's when you know how to create solutions. That's why I say creating solutions. Product in our own term is invariably referring to solutions. You create solutions. Okay, there's a problem with the healthcare system. How do I come in? And the good thing about the good thing about us as ourselves as healthcare personalities or professionals is the fact that a random product manager can build a product, but an healthcare product manager understands the right product to build. Anybody can say, oh, because gymming, fitness is a thing in this generation now, it could bring money. There's this old notion about tech is the new oil money. So majority of us want to run into tech because, there's money, it seems flexible, it's not like our usual traditional role. That's very correct. I won't say that's wrong. It's very correct. But the truth remains that for you to thrive in the tech space as a product manager, you have to be the type of person that you can think and reason. I said it earlier. When you see a system, you can detect the crack in the system. The information of the crack in the system, the fact that you can see that is what takes you to your drawing board where the idea comes up. When we talk about, like I said before, anybody can decide to say, everybody gyms now, everybody works out now, everybody wants to eat healthy now. And I can decide to say that, okay, you know what, I have money. I'm a software developer. I can build an app. And, we have AI tools now that you literally just have to send a few prompts and they will give you what you want. But that's not enough. That's where you are needed as a product manager, because it is your job to ask, number one, what problem are we solving? One of the major key factors to a product thriving in the market is the idea behind the product. We have lots of, now let me bring it to the digital space. When I talk about products, CarryWise app is a product. What's the product for? It's a fintech product. You use it for saving and all of that. Your bank app is a product. What do you use it for? You use it for your financial transactions and all of that. You have this fitness tracker. You have the Flow app for the ladies. What's it used for? Is to track your menstrual cycle, to give you all the information and the likes of that. So when we talk about product assets, So first thing as a product manager, you think of is what problem are we solving? Don't forget that I said that it's the process, is the monitoring, like you are literally overseeing and monitoring, and you are deeply involved in the life cycle of a product, right from ideation to launch and even post-launch. So now a product manager is that driver that is there at the start of the journey. When everybody comes down from the journey, I want to say that is it. When you push the product out to the market, your job doesn't end at pushing the product out in the market. Your job continues to how is the product doing in the market. And how the product does in the market is dependent on the idea that brought the product initially. You can't create, if I'm not sick now, let's take for example, I don't have headache, and then you come to me and you give me paracetamol. Will I take the paracetamol? I want to believe that I would not take that paracetamol because I don't have headache. I'm fine. The same thing goes for a product. If there is a problem with the ideation phase of a product, it's going to affect how that product does on the long run. Because if you create solution, there has to be a problem for there to be a solution, to be significant enough for you to think it's an issue and you want to solve it. Now, another thing a product manager will ask is who experiences this problem? This is the mind of a product manager. This is how a product manager thinks or is expected to think. Who experiences this problem? One of the major characteristics of a product manager is we are empathetic. Empathy comes in the part that I see people struggling in this area, and the first thing that comes to my mind is that there should be something I can do. I could come up with an idea. I could share this with the team, and then with a product owner, and then we sit down and create something that works, that helps people to solve that particular need or that problem. The next thing is, why does it exist? Why are you creating this thing? Fine, there's a problem. It's going to solve a problem. It is because some certain persons are experiencing this problem. But why? Why? What's your why? Why exactly are you doing that? Okay, to solve referral issues in the healthcare, if referral challenges when it comes to the healthcare sector. Okay, to ensure that there is enough blood to connect, blood users, people that need blood for transfusions to blood donor banks. To ensure that there is proper authentication of drugs at every over-the-counter point. Different things like that. Those are your whys. Then is technology the best solution? You know that we have certain problems in healthcare that technology is not going to fix them, right? We have problems that technology won't fix them. So that problem that you are saying you want to address, if now let's take for example, we know that some patients can be rude to healthcare workers, and of course vice versa. But then I'm going to dwell on the part of where patients are rude to healthcare workers. That's a problem, right? But then, will myself building a app really solve that problem? I want to believe that the response is, sorry, I'm coming. I need to please hold on. I need to. I'm trying. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just want to be sure. I'm trying to the other time when okay, thank you. The other time where I just want to be sure because I think I experienced a network glitch here. All right. So now we're on what the product manager's mind looks like or sounds or what they think like. So now, technology, is it the best solution? And then the next one is, how will we know that we've solved this problem? So it's not enough for you to like say, okay, I want to solve a problem. Do you have means in place, measures in place for you to understand that this problem has been fixed? So why should healthcare professionals care? Healthcare professionals are uniquely positioned to become product managers because they understand the healthcare system better than anyone else. That brings me back to the example I gave before of the fact that people see that, oh, there's everybody's doing fitness, while everybody's gymming, healthy eating. I could easily want to come into that space and say, okay, you know what? I will make my money. But you know what makes me different from the others is the fact that I understand the system. I know what could be the possible side effects of having an unhealthy weight. I know what could be the side effects of not eating healthy. I understand who are the target audience. When I'm trying to center the app, I know the people to go for. I will not create a maternal and child health app and go and start influencing, men. Of course, they could come in, but they are not the main target audience. I will not create Flow app now. We not create Flow app and come and start going to primary schools to go and advertise Flow app to them because they don't need it. So if you build the right product with the wrong idea and the wrong foundation, it's tantamount to you being in the dark and blinking your eyes or winking. We are both in the dark and you're winking at me. Can I see you? I won't see you. But you're performing an action, right? But the action has no effect. If you were maybe winking or squinting your eyes at me so that I could look at you, you're performing the action, but is the action giving the expected result? It isn't. And that's because of what? Because you are in the wrong environment. It's the same thing. If there's a problem with an ideation of a product, there's going to be a problem with how the product does. Let's take, for example, look at some of these products, these digital products that we have, the apps now. And your products could be anything. It could be an app, it could be a web version, anything, solutions. It just means that whatever you're creating is addressing a problem. That's just basically it. So now, imagine there's some of these apps that we have online. You see some of them that they are obsolete already. Those apps, you barely see people download them. That's because they are maybe quite unnecessary. There are apps that are, if I bring certain apps now to where students are, it will thrive there. If I take it to where working class persons are, it won't thrive there. It's just like me going to a church or a female women organization now, mothers. I should now say that, oh, I just developed a new version of Call of Duty game. I'm not advertising to them. Will they patronize? Will they download? They won't. And it's funny that some of us will even get people to download, like, oh yeah, just download. They would download, but they will not use it. You have high churn rates. People get to your website, they just move around, it doesn't appeal to them, and they leave. That way you have a lot of people visiting your website, but they're not engaging, they're not doing anything there. Because they're not it doesn't appeal to them. The product is not for them, it's not fixing anything about them, or they don't just think it's something they want to use, right? So either you're a doctor, a nurse, a pharmacist, physiotherapist, med lab scientist, radiographer, public health practitioner, you already spend your day identifying problems. If I say we should start listing problems off the top of our head in the healthcare sector today, I'm sure a majority of us would list and will keep listing. So it's already your profession already positions you to being able to identify problems every day. So those problems, I want us to begin to think those problems that you've identified, that issue that you've had, maybe even you as a service user, as a hospital user, you've had to use a facility, a medical facility, you've experienced one or two problems and all of that. Those problems now, that's the crack in the system that I am talking about. What solution can you build or create to address that issue? That's how a product manager thinks. So now, this is an example. Think about the issues you encounter regularly: long waiting time, poor referral systems, counterfeit medicines, delayed laboratory results, lack of continuity of care, poor communication between hospitals, difficulty accessing specialist care, missed appointment. The list goes on and on. These are not simply healthcare problems. they are product opportunities. A product manager sees a crack in the system and sees an opportunity to build something. Let's take, for example, the Flow app. I'm using that because it's something that it's quite medical related. And I've seen over time that there's iteration, there's been new features on that app where they started off as just tracking your menstrual cycle. If you use the Flow app, you know that now they track your symptoms. They are medical, this thing. You can literally even get like medical content on it. You read about ovarian cysts, PCOS, endometriosis, a lot of things like that, just short, but they're educating you in the process of you using that app. So now, all the problems that you see, those simple problems that you see, they are product opportunities. They're for you to build, to be able to think, okay, what can I do? The Flow app now, by the time when you wanted to build that app, I'm sure the problem is, okay, as a lady, and majority of us can relate, there are times that your period just shows up unannounced. You didn't plan for it, and you in your mind, you be like, but I just did it 2 weeks ago. And then by the time you go back to your calendar, you realize, it was not 2 weeks ago. It's already 21 days, or it's already 25 days, or it's already 26. And you are out there, you're now stained. You now have to start looking for where to get sanitary pads. And some person sat down and thought of it that I'm about to create something that reminds women days ahead, that tells them, that explains to them what their cycle is. A majority of persons, especially when you just start your period, don't even know what your cycle length is. You don't know if you are a 21-day cycle, a 25-day, 26, 24. You don't know. But because you keep logging in this information into a particular app, it generates a consistent information for you due to consistent data you have fed to it over time, and then it can tell you that, you're a 21-day cycle person. So every 21 days, expect your period. You are a 26-day cycle person. After every 26 days, expect your period. And then that helps you to keep track of your period, of the things they expect. If you're feeling some type of way, maybe you're down, you're moody, it keeps keeping track with you. It's almost like a friend to you, and it keeps, tracking your symptoms and telling you things to do. That's an example of a solution. There was a crack, and then they came to fill that crack. And that solution has really been helpful to a majority of us. I'm very, very sure that over 70% of ladies use the Flow app. If not that particular app, they use other menstrual tracking apps. The advantage healthcare professionals have is domain expertise. Like I said, we are in the system. So even if a developer or somebody that has money, a product owner or somebody that has the money to build, they have no choice. And I'm trying to let you see where you come in as an healthcare professional. They have no choice. They cannot want to come and build an app for people with cardiovascular issues, and they just go behind your back and build that app. They can't do that. Why? Because no matter the number of studying you want to do, you cannot know a field better than the people that are in that field. So now you see across teams, especially when they are building things in healthcare, you would see that they would ask, I don't know if you can go on LinkedIn and check for yourself. You see that one of the requirements that they will ask for is that, okay, somebody that has a background in health, somebody that has, because there's a part where you need to be able to understand the people that you are building for, and who are the people that are best to know that, other than those of us that interact with these patients, these persons, these individuals, that strata or that, that category of persons of building the app for better than ourselves. We interact with them more. Technology teams may know how to build software, but healthcare professionals, they understand the people, the workflows, the reality, and the software it is meant to serve. That combination is incredibly valuable. And the good thing about it is that other fields cannot drag it with us. It is our field. Everybody can be a product manager, but not everybody is an healthcare product manager. That's where your uniqueness comes in. So when you're on a team, you could have, now we have different classes of product manager. We have AI product manager, technical product managers, healthcare product manager, understands the healthcare system, can detect the crack in the system, and can sit down to ideate to create solutions to fix the crack. I hope we're following this. So like I said before, thinking like a product manager, biggest mindset shift in product management is don't start with the solution, start with the problem. Imagine patients repeatedly missing their follow-up appointments. Most people immediately suggest, oh, let's build an app. But a product manager will ask, why are the patients missing the appointment first? If you don't know the root cause of an issue and you're just building something, how do you know that you are not, thank God we are medical persons. There's symptom treatment. If you keep treating symptom and you're not treating the root cause, there's always going to be recurrence. There will be recurrence over time because you're just treating the symptom. What is causing it? People are coming late, they're missing their appointment, they're missing their follow-up appointment. Oh, why are they missing the follow-up appointment? That's how a product manager would think. A product manager will not just jump to go, because if you think, oh, it's because they used to forget, and it's probably because of traffic situation on the road. So it means that somebody that is not, the reason they miss their appointment is not because they forgot. You now build an app that reminds them. They could be reminded and they are stuck in traffic. What if they have serious work at, engagement at their workplace that they cannot forgo? You keep reminding. In fact, at a point, they will get annoyed at the reminders and probably decide to uninstall that app. We do that a lot of times where you feel like an app is beginning to bother you and you just want to install it. After speaking to patients, we discovered that, okay, many can't afford transport, some simply forget, others don't understand why some work during clinic hours. So it is now based on these whys. Which of the whys of this problem does your product want to address? Why is this thing happening? An issue can be occurring and it has 5 different whys. For example, the whole this thing of patients are missing their follow-up appointments. Why are they missing follow-up appointment? A number of reasons. It could be a number of reasons. Oh, they forget. That's one. Or the traffic situation on the road. That's 2. The day that they were scheduled for is not a convenient day for them as well. That's 3. And it goes on and on. I've counted 3. So, like I said before, don't forget when I was talking before that a product manager will determine if the problem that they want to address can it be technologically solved. If you have a dissing of a person that, oh, it's because their work, maybe that day at work is a busy day for them, so it's not a convenient day. If you build an app, what will your app be addressing? It's not going to be addressing the issue. Because now that is not really a technological issue. Okay, now you could come in the point that, okay, maybe on scheduling, when you want to schedule them, let's consider their work structure. Okay, maybe you could also build an app around that, but then you need to understand that, okay, if you want to build an app, maybe we can ask them to fill in their information. What days of the week are you free? What days of the week, what do you do? All of that. And then you use those data to generate their appointment dates. But then you don't just jump to create a product. You think of the why, and then you make sure that your product is addressing a why. Emphasis on A, because many people load their products with different features. They load their products with different features. There's a lot of features. That one app can do this, that one app can do this, can do about 10 things, and then you see the app within 1 month of being in the market, it's crashing. You can't take traffic, it's lagging, it's hanging, there's a lot of problem going on with it. And then you start wondering what the problem is. Before you know it, all the money used in launching the product is down. The product is down, is out of the market. People move on to the next available product for them to use. But when you start small, you start from 1. Okay, this feature, this product can address this problem. Sit on that why, and then begin to think of, okay, maybe features. What features can I bring in that makes it easy for people to use this solution? And at the end of the day, it's ensuring that problem that was identified is actually being addressed. So now let's go to the product development process. We don't have a lot of time. I'm just trying to move through, and also to just give you a brief overview of what product management is all about, so that you can tell if it's a field that you enjoy doing, you can know. All right. So the first step, like I said, I've explained a lot of this. I've explained identification of problem. You identify the problem, you understand the users, you research. So you research into what you want to do. You don't just jump and say, okay, because people are gymming now, the next best thing is to go and build a fitness app. Research into it. What does your research cover? My first entry into product management started from me being a field research worker for a product manager. Wasn't the product manager. In fact, I had not been in tech at all. I had not been in products. I had not been a product manager. I had not even taken any course in tech. I was just contracted, just asked that, oh, we want to build a particular, product for a hauling, a trailer app, like it's a vehicle hauling, but it's for larger vehicles to be moving for logistics and deliveries and all of that, interstate and within states. And I was given Lagos State. So I had to start going to, who are the major people that would most likely use this kind of cars, lorries, trailers. Who are those people? I had to start going to each of those places across Lagos State. And, we'll sit down with them, interview them, talk to them. Okay, what do you think? That's research. You gather information from them. And, research helps you to now see certain things. It's very easy for us to sit in our comfort of our rooms or over the laptop and we're talking. Where the real work happens is on the field. That's where you know the people that you are building for. If I build a taxi hauling, if I build a logistic hauling application, do I drive a trailer? No. Do I own a trailer? No. But it is what I build. It is what those people tell me that informs what I build, the features that I build into the product. And that's what is now going to help. But if I build a product, I don't do my research properly. And I build a product that this okay now. Majority of the people that would use this product now, they are illiterate, right? They are taxi drivers, they are trailer drivers, tanker drivers. Just imagine people in that caliber. And then I build an app for them. One of the things I have to consider is the fact that how many of them use Android phones, or how many of them use iPhone. That's to bring us to design solution now. How many of those people use an Android phone? How many of them use iPhones? For the case study that we had now, somebody that his wife was in, she's having labor and she has an emergency in labor and they have to refer her from one hospital to another. There's no ambulance. That's a number of problems coming together.